How come most startups fail, even when we have more tactics and strategies than ever before? Join the bedside chat of an entrepreneurial couple as they share what it takes to create a business with ease and in flow.
Welcome to the third podcast of Biz in Flow, where we share, I'm Natasha Koo.
And I'm Yachmiri.
We share our bedside chat with you, reflecting on our day as entrepreneurs.
That's right.
So I know that usually all of you probably expect a bubbly, jolly, light version of me. But today I'm not really feeling like that right now. Just want to share straight up.
What happened?
Not much happened. If you want to ask me that way. Not too much happened. I guess there are just like two events that kind of just don't feel that great for me right now. One is the freelancer we hired to do the logo for Biz in Flow. Turns out that he gave us 5 idea concepts for the logo, and we hate all of them. Hate. Yep. Do not like. No ounce of actual representation of what we want to do. No ounce of creativity. Sadness. And the other thing that kind of is a downer for me right now is for my other business. I was teaming up with this lady to test some Facebook ads and to do a month of trial. So she can do Facebook ads, I think, for the first time for a client, and I can see if Facebook ads could potentially work for me. And pretty much she decided that she wasn't in the right space anymore, because that was a commitment we made in the fall of last year. But, in her words, she's not in the same space anymore. And also that her time availability has also changed. So there goes that.
Oh, well, a new learning. What did you learn from those 2 lessons or events?
I don't even think I'm there yet. Do you think I'm there yet to actually see what I'm learning here? Or am I just like deep in my emotions and moping about it?
I don't know. Well, I can tell you what I've learned from the freelancer.
Okay, you tell me.
Well, I have learned that you are really good at management. Like, she's really good at it. She's very clear and very direct and yet human and relatable. So I really liked how you handled it. We kind of wrote it together. And it showed me how you really need to be kind of specific with what you want. So overall, I think I will learn a great deal from doing this with you. Okay.
I don't think it's that hard to tell someone what to do.
Yeah, because it comes naturally to you.
Okay, I guess there are bossy types and not bossy types. I guess what I am learning though, regarding the Facebook ads and, this feels honestly to me like I have lost an employee. I know I didn't hire her. I know we didn't even sign a contract yet. I know we didn't start working, and I know that there was no money exchange. But this experience really right now feels to me like I had a fallout with an employee. Like something didn't work out. Like what did I do wrong? Why was it a bad match? And one thing that stands out, if you're asking me what I have learned, is that I actually had a really weird feeling about our work together, or potential work together, for the last few days. It was just like a sense of, I don't know if this is right. But I felt that, but I didn't understand it. I didn't have any reason. Nothing was actually like crazy screaming out to me. There was an instance where I felt like, okay, she is new to this, which I already know, but I just got a feeling. And then I kind of ignored it because I didn't know how to make sense of it. And then now it comes to this, and now it makes sense. So that was a sign, I think, and I kind of ignored that. And also I think I'm taking her response of not wanting to continue this test as something personal.
Oh, well. Well, luckily you can learn to listen to your feeling and your gut instinct now when there's not much really to lose, as opposed to learning to listen to it when you can lose a lot, your entire empire. And, in regards of taking it personal, well, you can take it personal or you can just see it for what it is. It just wasn't the right thing.
Right. And I think that maybe I'm actually really, really lucky because we didn't even start yet. Like, isn't that the best time to drop something that actually doesn't feel right on both ends? Like, before you actually start and, like, make a mess.
Exactly.
I still do feel like I've done something wrong, though.
Well, I don't know. I mean, come on, you can't... Not everyone is designed to work with you, just like not everyone is designed to date you, and there's nothing to do with you or the other person. It just doesn't fit. So rather get them out quickly out of the way so you can get to the people that actually do work well with you.
Yeah.
Like me.
Oh, dear. So, yeah, I guess this is also a big part of this entrepreneurial journey because... Yeah, like we mentioned yesterday, right? In our last episode, you're going to be working with people, you're going to have clients, and you can't control them. And these things are going to fall upon our heads just like that, kind of like a bomb out of nowhere, and then we got to deal with it.
That's right. And you did. So well done.
Thanks. I really don't think I did that well, but I'm working on it. I'm working with it.
Or as someone once said to me, FAIL stands for first attempt in life.
Mm-hmm. I like it, but not at the same time, because I'm 27, and I feel like I already did a lot of first times, so it's more like second, third, fourth time.
Oh, well, maybe it's instead of being a fail, it's kind of going to become a sail or a tail or something like that.
Okay.
10th attempt in life.
Right. For a second, I didn't actually understand what Joachim's talking about. So it's okay if you don't either. So what was your day like, and what did you go through today?
It was all good. We went outside. We had some brainstorming by the lake, which was good. We kind of looked at the different avenues where we can spread the words, and it kind of showed that there's lots of work ahead of us where we have to get going and write and produce content and all that. So I'm curious on how we can adapt that so that it's fitting for us and sustainable, especially.
Mm-hmm. So it's one thing to have a vision and see how you wish to change the world, like the ultimate impact you want to have on the world. And I think we had that on day 1 and 2. We were getting clear on the vision we have. But then it's another thing to actually put the rubber on the pavement. Is that how they say it? Where you actually do the work and you impact people one by one by one until, you create that vision into reality.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to take continual, persistent, consistent action on both of our ends. There are 2 ends.
Yep.
So it sounds like, or at least feels a little bit to me, like that first, when you fall in love or you're with someone new and you're all excited and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that phase of this project is kind of like ending that infatuation stage. It's kind of like the reality is setting in for me.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how is that?
A part of me is almost dreading the work a little bit because I don't really know how it'll go with us together and if we can keep it up for infinity. Yeah, because I really don't want to go into this looking at our to-do list, looking at our days ahead and be like, oh my god, I dread it, or I can't imagine doing this for the rest of my life. Like, I think that's a really bad place to start from. And I don't want to do that with you.
Yeah, well, I guess we gotta talk a bit more about it then, so we can find a way that it's not like that.
Mm-hmm. And would you say that many businesses actually fall into that category of building a structure or a system where pretty much they have to keep it up, they have to meet that expectation, and it's almost as if, you know, they didn't ask themselves these questions at the very beginning, and then they're stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a potential, but even when you start a business, and especially start to generate some revenue, then you can always find other ways to do it where you don't have to do the stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. Outsourcing.
Right.
She's looking at me very confused.
No, I'm not really talking about, like, how to get rid of things you don't want to do. I'm talking about creating a business from a place that aligns with you.
Oh.
That feels right with you. I'm not talking about, like, I don't like this, like, someone take care of this, you know? I'm talking about, are we, as entrepreneurs, and there's so many of us out there, are we actually asking the right questions? Are we creating the right visions for ourselves? And what questions are we asking ourselves so that, you know, we can build something that's right for us and not something that we dread eventually. And if the dread is, you know, incrementally adding up as the business grows, it will grow into this huge monster that demands a lot of the dread.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta set it up in a way that's suitable for you. So if you're good at getting in front of people, get in front of people instead of just getting in front of a camera. Record with a group of people in front of you. If you are better in talking and not in writing, then talk and get it transcribed or something like that. You know, like, there's different ways that you can set it up. But, you know, that's something that we need to explore, and we can share our findings here.
Are we doing that?
Tomorrow.
No, I mean, have we been looking at what we're good at and bringing that foot forward versus forcing ourselves to, you know, do things that actually aren't our forte or would be like pulling teeth every day?
Well, we have just written down the things that would be good. We haven't actually taken the steps. We haven't actually finalized all of it. So now that we have this talk, we can actually look at that.
Well, we already tried to split it in a way that fits what we're best at. But I think that's one thing, to write down what must get done and what you're good at. It's another thing to kind of do that check of, does this actually make me excited?
Yeah. The whole thing about excitement is always a bit of a double-edged sword in a way, because it depends also on your mood and all kinds of factors. And I do agree that there are things that seem to bring more your soul to sing, and that those are the things I think would be good if we spend the most of our time in those kind of activities. And there's activities that just don't seem to be really jiving with us really well. So I do think it's a good kind of guideline. But if you take kind of the day-to-day excitement, even if there's something that you really love to do, you will have days where you might not feel very inspired or not, you know, very wanting to do that in that moment. And then taking that as a sign of, oh, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. Well, that's not really going to be useful, because then you're just a ball of your emotions being played back and forth.
So what is useful then? Because I felt you, because like I was saying my part and I just looked at you and you're like, yeah. Every time you agreed with me, you were like, yeah. And I don't know. I feel like there's more to say on that. Why is it bad to follow the excitement or the feeling throughout your day, and whether that impacts your to-do list or not?
Well, because feelings come and go. They are transient. They are not made to stay forever. So let's take coaching, for example. when I was loving coaching, I had days when I was excited to jump on a call. And there were days where I was like, shit, I have this call and I really don't feel like it. But does that mean just because I don't feel like it, I'm not going to go onto the call? No, you're just going to show up and you're going to get on with it. You know, you're going to go with it. And sure enough, at some point, you're going to fall into a connection and you're going to roll with it and it's going to be okay. So that's why I'm saying that the feelings is a predictive measure. From a moment-to-moment basis, just doesn't look like a good gauge of what you should do or shouldn't do.
So then how do we differentiate what we should do if we're not following a feeling?
That's why I'm saying there is kind of the underlying topic where there is work that you seem in general that your soul kind of sings with it and it really kind of touches you and it's good. It doesn't mean that you might not have some dread at some point or you might not feel like it or whatever, but in general there's a feeling of joy with it and you love it and all of that. And in that sense, I do feel that that's a good gauge of doing that and flowing with it. Do you know what I mean?
Are you saying following the general direction of pretty much what you feel pulled towards? Like, yes, it could be excitement, yes, it could be a passion towards something, but not be caught up in the nitty-gritty stuff?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I could be pulled really hard energetically and emotionally towards, say, creating a yoga school.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that when it comes to looking at places to rent or cleaning the bathroom, that I should be so, discouraged because I don't like to clean the bathroom. I don't like to look up studio locations, that I give up the project because of that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even teaching a yoga class, which you usually are super excited about, at some days you might not feel like it, and that doesn't mean that you have to quit the yoga school.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about, yes.
Yeah. Well, a lot of us do listen to the feelings throughout the day and let that decide what should happen next, huh?
Yeah, but as I said, that can then become quite hazardous in the sense that you don't get the things done that you want to get done, even though you know it would be good. You start procrastinating because you don't feel like something instead of just getting on with it. And I just don't think it's a good measure.
I think that this is definitely something that we can touch on a bit more on the next episode. I think there can be a lot of confusion because as entrepreneurs we are being very irrational to some extent. The odds seem to be against us because most startups fail, yet we are being guided by a feeling to create something that isn't even real yet. It's in our mind or we have a feeling for it, and it can be an extremely emotional process. So how do we deal with the ups and downs and how do we navigate that? Because should we take that as real? Should we take that as a sign? Which feeling are we really looking for that's gonna lead us in the right direction? I think that's some really important questions that can help us on this journey.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, but meanwhile, it's getting late, very late, and I think it's time for bed.
That's right.
So thanks again for joining us on this bedside chat. I hope that you had many takeaways, whether it's about hiring, working with freelancers, or just other human beings who I want to emphasize, you cannot control the emotional process or at least for me, the personal aspect or the self-blaming aspect, and how, gotta work with that. Just gotta let that go. Mm. And also, especially the emotions that come up.
Yep.
So thanks for being here. Hope to see you tomorrow.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
And talk to you at another bedside chat. Good night.